me, listeners, at long last, our Patreon page is up. We've taken your suggestions and put up a few different donation tiers from $1 to $10, and there are rewards associated with each, from thanks on the show, to voting on upcoming matches, to getting to design matches and lightning rounds. We have various milestone rewards too, from creating a website to creating bonus content and bonus episodes. That page is at patreon.com/smashfictionpodcast. That's patreon.com/smashfictionpodcast. We hope you check it out, if only because the 5 of us created a very dumb, very funny video that is kind of amazing. Thanks for helping us continue the fight.
Welcome to Smash Fiction, the podcast where we pit 2 fictional characters against Liz and wait and see how long it takes her to start hitting her head against the table. This week, Superman versus Goku!
That did not take long.
As a desperate measure to finally stop the machines from reaching Zion, all your favorite Matrix characters return in The Matrix 4 Reloaded Revolution, except there's a twist. With the apparent failure of the previous movie storylines and Neo ascending to creepy robot heaven, the human warriors within Zion had developed a new machine to bring their favorite and strongest fictional characters into a computer program 4, to send it to the Matrix to find the architect and to stop the cycle of the one forever and ultimately save Zion, which we kind of barely care about, but anyways. Morpheus decides to bring back Superman and Goku and upload them into the Matrix with a single, simple directive. Find the glitch. Of course, Morpheus doesn't really let them know that he's dispatched the other as a backup, so things don't really go as planned. While working undercover as Clark Kent in the Matrix, Superman is riding the subway, when suddenly, some new age looking monk with ridiculously big hair accidentally bumps into him, knocking his glasses off super far away. Instead of stopping, the monk continues on, as if he's on some kind of mission. Instead of going to get his thick glasses, Superman runs up to Goku and says, "What the fuck? You're like a monk or something. Where are your manners, son?" In response, Goku says, "Wait, how did you see me so well and catch up to me without your glasses? Are you some kind of super glitch or an alien who doesn't need his glasses?" What? Well, I think you're a glitch for not apologizing and helping me get my glasses. And with that, both Superman and Goku tear off whatever superfluous clothing they were wearing, both instantly gain their trademark hair and burst out of the Matrix subway and commence fighting.
Yeah, that sounds canonical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liz, this scenario is slightly different than the one we had originally pitched. I just want to throw that out there.
I like them taking their clothes off. Can we roll with that?
Can this be a mud wrestling adventure?
Yeah, it's... Go on.
I am mostly oblivious about these characters, so therefore I, Liz Logan, will be your Aliens from Space judge this week. Representing Superman are Dan Mulcairn.
Faster than Colin's opening arguments. More powerful than a D&D reference. Able to leap to wildly unfounded conclusions in a single bound.
And Megan Bob.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's me! Megan Bob.
Representing Goku are Spike.
Hey, Vegeta! What's the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9! Just 9, that's not very high.
And Talvi.
Caillou, can Talbi come up with a witty intro? Kamehameha.
Oh.
In order to determine who goes first, I made both characters take me on a magic carpet ride, where they were the carpet, and I was the Disney princess. I judged my ride on top of Superman to be the smoothest, and Goku might as well have been a jackhammer, so Superman is going to go first.
Also sounds canonical.
Oh, jeez.
I have nothing else to say. Superman, you have the floor.
Okay.
Thanks, Liz.
We're not using pre-crisis Superman, so you're not going to see him throwing giant cellophane versions of his S-shield or shooting tiny versions of himself from his hands, which I think we can all agree is a missed opportunity for Smash Fiction. But even without these world-shattering powers, Superman still has enough power to, well, shatter worlds, actually. And more importantly, these powers, along with his skills and smarts, are going to leave Goku a battered, beaten mess, regardless of what color hair dye he's used today. When it comes to strength, Goku's no slouch, but has he ever picked up a pyramid and flown it to the moon? Final Crisis Requiem. Has he ever shattered planets with his fists? Trinity number 5. Has he ever bench pressed the weight of the Earth for 5 days straight? Superman Volume 3, number 13. Of course he hasn't. It's not like he's Superman or anything. Now, my client may be just a simple country farm boy, but from such humble beginnings come a guy who can produce hurricane force ice winds with his breath, or generate heat vision hotter than the sun and precise enough to perform brain surgery. But Goku can put out a fair amount of punishment too, right? Well, he's really gonna have to if he has any chance of even scratching the S on Superman's chest. In Superman Doomsday Hunter Prey, Superman withstands, quote, a force equal to 1,000,000 nuclear blasts. And this is after an extended fight with Doomsday on the planet of Apokolips, which does not have Earth's yellow sun supercharging his cells. But even that pales in comparison to Action Comics number 846. Superman goes to confront a Sun Eater, a creature the size of a stellar nebula. Superman's approach to it exposes him to massive quantities of red sun radiation, meaning his powers, quote, were evaporating like morning dew. When he finally delivers the death blow to the Sun Eater, the resulting explosion is equivalent to 50 supernovas, and a greatly weakened Superman still survives it. Goku can spam as many glorified Hadokens as he wants, but he can't put out the force of 50 supernovas, and that's the bar if you want to consider even hurting Superman. But Superman's not just a super strong, super tough tank of a character. In a universe where numerous characters have access to the Speed Force, Superman is still considered to be one of the fastest beings alive. Flash Volume 2, number 109 confirms that Superman can fly over 2,000 miles per second in atmosphere, and according to Countdown number 48, can fly over 1,000,000 times the speed of light in space. He can oscillate his body at such a high speed that he becomes invisible or even intangible. The thing to note is that this speed applies not only to his body, but also to his mind and his genius level intellect. In Superman Unchained number 2, there's a scene where the Burj Khalifa is under attack by a giant robot, and the comic breaks down, frame by frame, how quickly Superman is able to analyze the changing geometry of a collapsing skyscraper and correctly string together a complex series of powers to save the tens of thousands of people in and around the building, and how, in less than 4 seconds, he calculates and executes this plan flawlessly while being attacked by said giant robot. That's how fast and precise his thinking is, even in an amazingly high-stress situation like combat. I know what you're thinking. Goku is a trained martial artist. He's probably far more skilled than Superman. Well, I say take your hypothetical weak-ass arguments elsewhere. Superman has trained with Wildcat, Mongol, Wonder Woman, and Batman in hand-to-hand combat, and his fighting style not only complements his superpowers, it allows him to adapt to and defeat any opponent. Moreover, he knows 2 different Kryptonian martial arts. Most of Goku's combat abilities are based on real-world martial arts, all of which Superman will know about and have been exposed to. But Goku has never encountered a Kryptonian before. Not only will he be totally unfamiliar with Superman's fighting style, but any pressure point techniques will be useless against Superman's physiology. True, Superman hasn't faced a Saiyan before, but with his X-ray and telescopic vision, he'll be able to instantly pick out Goku's nerve clusters and weak points, reducing Goku to a mass of hilariously useless limbs. But in the end, it doesn't really matter that Superman is clearly stronger than Goku. Goku could be thousands, millions of times stronger than he is, and it wouldn't matter. Let's take Man of Steel number 131, in which Superman fights Mongol, a character who is usually depicted as stronger and tougher than Superman, and with massive energy blasts, teleportation, telepathy, and telekinesis to boot. In that comic, Superman manages to just focus on evading Mongol's attacks, playing rope-a-dope with him, letting his much stronger and tougher opponent tire himself out, allowing Supes to lay him out easily just by being smarter. Then there's Hank Henshaw, aka the Cyborg Superman, whose body is basically a clone of Superman's, except that he's constantly made it better by upgrading it with ridiculous alien technology, some of it the technology of the New Gods from Apokolips. By the time of Superman Doomsday Hunter Prey, it's revealed that he's evolved far beyond the power level of a Kryptonian, and yet Superman still manages to beat him. Whether it's the death god Darkseid, the galaxy-destroying Mageddon, or the embodiment of universal entropy known as Imperiex, Superman has gone up against multiple primal cosmic forces and won. What makes him truly super isn't how strong or tough or fast he is. It's how relentlessly driven he is, how he refuses to give up, how even in the face of overwhelming power and opposition, he always finds a way to win. A moral Zack Snyder interpretations of the character aside, Superman is all about protecting people. If he thinks that Goku is a threat, he will stop at nothing to put him down. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Goku, after Superman knocks him into orbit in round 1.
Goku is often the author of his own fuck-ups, which is charming, but it's also so very, very stupid. There's obviously a case to be made that making mistakes is how you learn, but it's sort of like saying, I would never have known I was capable of withstanding so much pain if I hadn't stabbed myself in the leg. Sure, you can learn to trust people by seeing what happens when you don't take heart medication recommended to you by someone from the future. As it turns out, you have a heart problem and get beaten up by android number 19. Or you could see if Raditz is lying about leaving Earth and end up with your ribs crunched in. Or in the episode Deadly Vision, you can just try announcing in front of your enemy that you can't use one of your attacks. Or, just die. That's how he dies the second time. His brilliant plan to defeat Cell in the Cell Saga is kept totally to himself. When telling it to someone would have revealed that actually it's a pretty bad plan, because only Gohan is strong enough to take on Cell successfully. No one has the chance to clue Goku in on this or help him come to a rational decision. Instead, Goku, future Trunks, and Android 16 end up dead. I need to underline this. Goku has died. Twice. Superman has died. Never. Goku is the magical disaster boy that dies, gets to be alive for a while, and dies again. You'd think he'd be more careful the second time, but no. Kill him once? Shame on you. Kill him twice? Apparently he's a fucking moron. Superman is the world's most efficient battery and can keep going for a significant amount of time. Goku is the buggy old cell phone you had to get rid of because when you unplug it, it suddenly only got 9% left. Goku's energy attacks use ki, which unlike the sun, isn't just readily available all the time. It's a sort of life force you can either get because you have your own, or because people sort of donate some to you. The only reason he defeats the near planet-destroying Kid Buu is through the donation of ki from every freaking person on the planet. Not just Earth, though. The power of people on other neighboring planets have to help out. This is the crowdfunding approach to defeating villains, and while I am all for a micro-lending economy, that's not going to be an option for taking down Superman. A character with an amount of goodwill so vast that even Batman is sort of friends with him. The regular spirit bomb can be deflected by someone pure of heart, and Superman is maybe the purest of heart being there is. The only thing pure, if he existed in post-crisis world, would be Krypto. That's it. You have Superman, and then Superman's dog. Even Goku, sweet though he is, would have an impure heart crystal compared to Superman. I suspect that the spirit bomb would see Superman and actively defect and join his side, and then start wearing the traditional cape just to show team spirit for the whole thing. You cannot wield the force of goodness against goodness itself. Well, you can. But only if you want to make goodness some new spherical buds to chill out with. There are plenty of Kaiokens and Kamehamehas options, but again, they use ki, and as Dan pointed out, sheer power and large multipliers aren't really how one defeats Superman. Unluckily for Goku, he isn't interested in taking on people unless they're the most challenging thing imaginable. Outthinking is not his bag, nor is cheating. He's a straight fighter because fairness and goodness, etc. He's also really prideful about it and won't accept help when he's over his head. He'll just keep plowing ahead no matter what, which is kind of the thing that gets you killed. And I'm going to put this out here right now. Super Saiyan 3 is bullshit. It's 400 times more powerful than his base form as a regular Saiyan. That's a big number, I grant you. But SS3 is still terrible. You get incredible power for a few minutes at best, and the powering up is extraordinarily consuming and causes geological disturbances that Soups will not put up with at all. Causing earthquakes and tidal waves is the kind of shit that will get you tossed into the sun. On top of that, he has to scream for about 1 whole minute. That's a pretty sizable warning to give your opponent. He's also still during that time. It's his boot time to power up into his form, and that boot time is a nice moment of vulnerability for Superman to use. It takes 5 seconds of screaming to power into SS2. Superman has a reaction time of 1/quintillionth of a second. So the fraction looks like 1 over another 1, and then with 18 big ol' zeros. Do you know what a quintillion is? There are not even a quintillion cells in the human body, or a quintillion dollars in circulation in the entire world. A quintillion is unimaginably vast, and it takes a single quintillionth of a second for Superman to react. I think he can probably hear Goku screaming and have another 4 seconds and the 999 quadrillion, 999 trillion, 999 billion, 999 million, 999,999ths, #DanList of a second left to do something about it while Goku is in his stationary screaming boot time waiting for that key to kick in.
Oh my god. Was that it?
Yep.
I mean, it hurt, but yeah, it's over.
Bravo, I guess. We're moving on. Now is the only time I will ever listen to this, so please, Team Goku.
Megan, Bob, and Dan, that was brutal. I need a sensu bean after that. But I'll be fine. Previously on Dragon Ball Z, a mysterious traveler from the planet Krypton appeared and challenged the Z Fighters to a tournament. Look out, Goku! I think his power level might be higher than yours. Power levels are still a thing, right? We're still doing that? Maybe? Shut up, Krillin. He only seems powerful because you're really weak. Hey! Goku charges in with his trusty power pole and... oh shit, Superman's already dead. He killed him. Kakarot, you idiot! Kryptonians are weak against magic! But I don't know any magic. Goku, your power pole is magic! Oh, I better give him a sensu bean so he can keep fighting. Kakarot, you fool! Sensu beans are also magic! I'm not even from this planet and I know that! Here, put him in my Saiyan healing pod that I have, for some reason. Okay, but I'm pretty sure Saiyan healing pods are also magic. God, the Saiyan education system failed you. It's my fault, really. Will Goku accidentally kill this mysterious stranger again? Find out right now on Spike's argument, I guess. Now, let's break down why Goku would win this fight. Probably by accident, because everything that Dan and Megan pointed out about Goku's stupidity is just totally correct. Can't refute that. But what are Goku's weaknesses? Heart disease and stupidity. Other than that, Goku will train to overcome any situation, usually within the time frame of the fight. Goku will analyze his opponent's moves, break them apart, and find their weakness, usually within the time frame of the fight. Goku often faces opponents with greater strength, speed, and overcomes them. What happened to Superman the first time he fought someone stronger than him? Oh yeah, that's right, Doomsday killed him. You know Doomsday, the guy who was exposed to harsh environments and then was cloned like a million billion times in order to increase his power and resilience? What does that sound like? Oh, that sounds like every baby Saiyan ever. The Zenkai boost, motherfucker. Every time a Saiyan is brought to near death or to death and brought back, they gain immense amount of strength. So every time you point out Goku dying is just a point towards us. Saiyans are essentially an allegory for the one thing that Superman can't handle. To put it simply, Superman can't handle Goku. I'm just saying.
This battle between Goku, Earth's greatest defender, and Superman, fandom's merriest Mary Sue, is more than a slobber knocker. Both contestants are going to have to dig deep and get creative to come out on top, and that is why Goku is going to win. Fighting is Goku's focus, his skill, his trade, his talent. The only other thing he excels at is being able to consume more calories in one sitting than the combined cast of the Expendables. Goku gladly refused formal education because he thought it would dampen his fighting ability. He's even a terrible father, but he doesn't really care as long as he's the best fighter. His training regimen includes beating up his children in a time-altering void, learning techniques from actual gods, then he cranks up the gravity and does some push-ups. What does Superman do? Sunbathe. Goku knows his powers and abilities intimately because he has worked for them and earned them. He isn't handed his powers by the wave of a lazy writer's pen. So let's examine what Goku is bringing to the table. First, he is a master at controlling his ki and is able to transform it into a wide variety of attacks and defensive maneuvers, including, but not limited to, Kaioken, Ki Blast, Solar Flare, Instant Transmission, and his signature Kamehameha. His mastery over this energy allowed him to unlock the legendary Super Saiyan form and its subsequent upgrades. While in Super Saiyan form, Goku's strength, speed, and ki reserves grow exponentially, but ultimately this form is just another tool at the hands of a combat expert. Goku's real edge in this fight is his ability to examine and learn from his opponent. His heightened senses allow him to evaluate opponents and find vulnerabilities and weak spots. Combine that with his mastery of martial arts, and after a few punches can pick out flaws in his opponent's fighting style and can use that to his advantage. Goku has proven his worth as a tactician and can use his opponent's strengths and abilities against them. He can even determine mental shortcomings and use that as a part of his overall strategy, capable of luring enemies into traps and inescapable positions. Goku is like the Swiss Army knife of combat. There is no situation his combat expertise and arsenal of powers cannot overcome. And Superman is just another big dumb hammer.
Spirit bomb dropped.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's press on to the rebuttals.
I've never heard you like this, Liz. This is so different.
Wow, great job, guys. I'm only seeing numbers now, but I still need some more convincing, because, you know, Matrix references. Wow, rebuttals, okay.
Liz.
No, let's keep that one. I like that one. It sounds like your soul is
Liz,
leaving your body.
The fact that we're on a Skype call doesn't mean that you literally have to phone it in, okay? You can have a little effort to it.
Oh.
It's like I'm already so conflicted already. It's so bad. Like I don't even know where to go from here.
I mean, the grave is the only place for all of us now.
Superman, you have the rebuttals. Try to tip the scale in your favor.
You said that he's able to like find mental shortcomings in his opponents.
Yes.
First of all, what mental shortcomings in Superman could he possibly find? And then more than that, yeah, of course he can. Everybody he fights is a fucking moron. Like, everybody he deals with is an idiot.
Well, everybody that fights Goku is smarter than Goku, at least on an intellectual level.
Okay. Well, low bar there, but okay. Did they attend formal education?
Almost everybody else attends some sort of formal education.
Well, even as a child, he fought adult opponents, and was able to beat them.
He fought a bear thief. Like, he fought this guy living out in the woods who was inexplicably a bear. I don't think he really like
tiger
got
pilot.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they may have gotten their GED. I don't really know. I don't think they have like the super genius level intellect that Superman has.
Now, if we're talking about just pure processing power, sure, Superman's very smart, but you have failed to show any time where he's used his wits to a tactical advantage, and that's essentially what Goku does every single episode.
Well, that's not true because, you know, I mentioned in the opening arguments that there was the time he fought Mongol, who is at least as strong as Superman and often portrayed as being stronger, and Superman beats him because he tricks Mongol into using up too much energy, and all Superman does is dodge. And basically, Mongol tires himself out way before Superman gets tired, because Superman's stamina, by the way, is unlimited as long as he's supercharged with sunlight. And like, you know, he was able to bench press the weight of the Earth from inside the Earth for 5 days straight, where he was getting no sunlight. So he's gonna be good. All he has to do is outlast Goku. One of Goku's biggest weaknesses is that he loves to fight because he sees it as this way of like proving himself. So he always demands his fights to be fair. He always has to have his opponents be at their full strength. But like in Action Comics 775, Superman is facing off against Manchester Black, who's this psychic powerhouse, and Superman fires a microblast of invisible heat vision through Manchester Black's retina and cuts out the part of his brain.
Manchester Black.
Action Comics 775.
No, the reference, I get that, but the goddamn name, Dan, don't shoot that shit.
He has a giant Union Jack tattooed on his torso. I'm not joking.
Man, I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
But anyway, so
we're all leaving.
So Superman fires heat vision through Manchester Black's retina and cuts out the part of his brain that gives him psychic powers. He does that to Goku. Goku can't use ki. That's it.
No,
he's
that's
depowered.
No, but Goku's power to manipulate his ki does not focus in his brain. It's just his ability to.
It's a spirit life force.
Yeah, it's a spirit life force. It doesn't dwell inside of his brain. It isn't like a tumor growing that Superman could just cut out.
I mean, Superman could cut out the part of his brain that governs his motor functions, you know? He's manipulating ki or not. He's not going to be able to throw a punch once Superman severs his brainstem.
As a child, Goku was faster than lasers, so that's a thing.
Those lasers in the show are so weirdly slow, though. Those are not real lasers. Those are
Well, they're
fake
24
lasers.
frames per second, Megan
Hey,
Bob.
don't you assume the realism of those lasers, okay?
Those animators were not using real science to make those. He's got easily skewed priorities. I didn't really have time to bring it up in the fight, but that he is so obsessed with a fair fight that he will kind of rewrite the rules of the match. Like, he gives an opponent a senzu bean to go like, no, I need more fight from you. Like, his boner for fighting is frankly dangerous and a danger to himself and others. And then he also, like, he prioritizes his hatred of Frieza so much that he's like, no, I know the planet's exploding and my friends might die, but I don't even care. I'm just going to keep doing this thing that is so stupid. Like, he's going to be being beaten to shit and not realize or care.
He is a person of a singular focus, which is...
That's a real nice way of putting it. He's an idiot. We're not at all arguing for Goku's intelligence.
Goku is an idiot savant. He likes to fight. That's the one thing he can do better than anybody else. So yeah, he is just going to keep beating on Superman.
But he has a limited amount of ki.
I heard
he
that.
can't, like, the thing that allows him to do it goes away. I mean, how many Kamehamehas does he have before he sort of, I don't know.
As many as the writers need at the time, much like Superman.
Fucking Mary Sue's, goddammit.
Also, Danger Boner, that's our new band.
Okay. Yep.
Danger boner.
This just keeps ending on such weird segues. Okay, Goku, go ahead and rebut Superman's iron butt.
I think this
Steel
matches
butt?
Liz's kryptonite.
This is terrible. Like,
You guys brought up multiple times the spirit bomb and ki as well, or chi. That is life force energy. Lex Luthor has speculated that Superman is weak against life force energy, so much so that he built a giant fucking tower to collect it all to use against Superman. So once again, Goku would probably accidentally kill Superman in the first 5 fucking seconds of this fight, and then continue to try and bring him back, and then be like, this guy was supposed to be strong, holy crap. Krillin, do you want to tag in, buddy? Because he dies every time I look at him, Jesus. And yeah, as a child, Goku was faster than light. He dodged a solar flare attack from Tien in like the second World Martial Arts tournament. He dodged a solar flare, which is just a light attack. So he is, as a child, faster than light, and then gets faster and faster and faster upon that.
I mean, I don't think he's able to move faster than, 1/quintillionth of a second, but okay. I
He
hear
is
your
actually
fastness.
Goku's what is it called? Instant transmission.
Yes, instant transmission.
Instant transmission is not a traveling ability. He literally instantly appears wherever he wants to appear.
Well, there are some limits to it. He can move to, like if he's traveling long distances, he does have to move to a source of great energy or something like that, or a place he's been to.
First of all, regarding Superman's apparent vulnerability to ki-based energy, Lex Luthor never got to test that.
No, I know.
Like, he built this super weapon to, like, fire a beam of ki at Superman, but it never actually worked, and, like, it never actually hit Superman, and, like, if there's one person who has proven he has no idea how to kill Superman, it is Lex Luthor.
Okay, come on, Dan. That is
He's a
very...
professional
that is-
non-Superman killer. That's his job, is to not kill Superman.
That is very funny, but come on. It's Lex Luthor. You know he's not an idiot. He wouldn't drop billions of dollars into nothing. It's Lex frickin' Luthor.
Regarding the instant transmission thing, Goku can teleport, but it requires several seconds worth of concentration for him to actually do so. And we actually see multiple times in Dragon Ball Z that, like, there are times when he's in a fight or he's, like, trying to outrun an attack, and he tries to use instant transmission and can't because it takes more concentration than he's able to devote to it. So, if Superman's coming up and delivering light speed punches to him, he's not going to be able to concentrate.
Yes, but in those situations, Goku is always running away from a fight trying to save his friends. So if he is just being able to focus on the fight, I argue that he would be able to actually concentrate and get away from Superman and use that to his advantage.
It's one of the more recent things, but Goku, they just developed in the story, he's also able to essentially borderline, like he just predicts what people are doing. People use time traveling techniques against him, and he is able to predict what they are doing.
And you guys kept on talking about his Superman's heat vision, but there is no other ability that Superman has really that drains him as fast. He would only be able to use it a couple of times before it becomes ineffective and it drains him of his solar power.
I also wanted to bring up real quick about you saying that Superman's trained with all these fighters. Goku's character is based off of Sun Wukong, the Monkey King who brought martial arts to the world. So his martial arts are based off of all the martial arts, like the god of martial arts. And yes, he's trained with multiple gods. He's trained with the god of martial arts. He's trained with Master Roshi as a child. I wouldn't dismiss his fighting at all. That's ridiculous. It is so leaps and bounds higher than Superman. Also, you said that he shoots Hadoukens. The Hadouken is based off of the Kamehameha. Everybody knows that. Come on, Dan.
Yeah.
Stop embarrassing.
Yeah, you lived in
Hadoukens.
Hadouken, didn't you guys? You and Kit, you lived in Hadouken, New Jersey?
Oh, that's nope.
You should know it.
Oh, man.
That was below even you guys.
done.
Nothing is below us. You know that.
This main round is done. The book is closed. The comic book, the show, the TV is on the floor, broken. It's closed. And now I hear something. Wait, could it be? Yes, it is. It is the lightning round.
Boy, it's a good thing my super hearing picked this up from across the world.
Oh, lightning. It's my one weakness.
As the fighting tears up the city matrix, the actual glitch and ultimate architect of the human batteries appears, challenging both Superman and Goku for destroying the wonderful Matrix city her fan base lives in. She had just been hiding in plain sight the whole time as a famous pop singer signed on by the Merovingian and known for her just thought-provoking enough outfits and actions, along with a tongue seemingly having a mind and powers of its own. Her powers range from sonic blasts to flight to the ability to summon unobtainium-based wrecking balls from literally nowhere. Oh, and she's invulnerable because I say so. And she's an unkillable computer program. It makes sense. In addition, her recently retired wrestler bodyguard, coming straight out of the gate of Matrix Hell as a 30-story tall dead body preparer, is armed with an equally sized 10-story unobtainium chair and unobtainium shovel of doom. And he's invulnerable as well because of the whole Matrix thing. So, Superman and Goku must now band together to form a superhero duo and fight against the new threat. You need to both describe to me how you're going to take her on and seal her away and her sidekick away, knowing that they are invulnerable. Also, periodically during your response, I may throw out a curveball that you need to take care of.
So guys, can I take care of this one real fast? Fusion.
Well, when you're right, you're right.
Wait. Would that make Sudoku? Would that make Sudoku?
Oh my god.
Because you just blew my brain up.
That was such a dad joke.
Since Superman went first in the main round, Goku will be going first in the lightning round. Is the Matrix the new space? I don't know. So please let me know.
Is it kosher to ask who this person is, or do we just have to?
Oh man, I thought I was obvious.
No, I didn't. I'm not familiar with it.
I'm pretty confused.
It's Miley Cyrus and The Undertaker.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Wrestling.
Well, I think obviously the first step that Goku would do would offer Superman the fusion earring, so that they become one ultimate fuck you being.
That is
with
one
the power of lazy writing, the power of carrying an entire comic book line on your back that you can essentially never be killed because of it. And the power of a fandom that doesn't give a shit about the actual fandom because who cares about numbers? So they become this amazing amalgamation of both characters. I mean, The Undertaker is old, and he just fucking retired. So
yeah, Matlock's on Undertaker. Come on. I think Josh brings up a good point that Goku is super, super used to working together with people, whether it's fusing with Vegeta, having to team up against Raditz, so like a way more powerful opponent, with his arch enemy, which he's done multiple times throughout the Dragon Ball series as well. That's kind of like his shtick, is he teams up with his enemy and takes on the villain. Like with Vegeta, with Piccolo, multiple times this happens.
Miley Cyrus has gotten real weird with her music recently. So I think Goku is going to start powering up and screaming. Miley Cyrus is going to think that he's trying to start a jam session and is going to start singing and twerking to his screaming while Superman comes in and beats the shit out of the Undertaker.
30-story Undertaker. He's going to beat the shit out of. Just start punching with his fists.
Dude, Undertaker has really bad hips. Did you not see
Goku-
WrestleMania? It was awful.
So he's going to target his weak points?
He is so sad.
Goku has essentially trapped what was at the time the devil in the dead zone. So yeah, he's totally used to being able, okay, well, I can't defeat this opponent. How am I going to overtake him in some other way? How am I going to outsmart him and trap him in some other sort of zone or something like that? So yeah, they're just going to lock him in the dead zone.
How's he going to do that?
With his Kaioken times 20, probably. I don't know.
Okay, you gave me an answer. That's enough. Let's move on to Superman. Superman, how are you going to deal with computer program Miley Cyrus and computer program Undertaker?
We need to really target these people's weaknesses here. And Miley Cyrus is all about like being on the cutting edge of the next big thing. And in an issue of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, there was an issue in which the tagline on the cover referring to Superman calls him bouncier than the Beatles, more electrifying than Elvis. See Superman strut, the Krypton crawl. And it shows Superman doing what I imagine is the Krypton crawl on the cover, except it just looks like the twist.
Are they going to have a dance-off? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes,
I mean,
that's
look,
exactly. Well, okay, they're going to be backup. They're going to pose as backup dancers for her. They're going to work together. They're going to get into like sexy costumes, obviously, and then sort of get in there as backup dancers and be like, "Here, we have this really amazing thing to teach you how to do this amazing dance." And she's going to fall for
Krypton
it.
crawl, man.
Curveball. Miley Cyrus gets close enough to Superman and licks him, and her spit is toxic. What do you do?
I mean, probably bad as eyelashes.
Is it like greater than 50 supernovas level damaging? Because I think he'll probably just take it.
What, like,
He'll be like, that's what it takes to make me feel things. I'm so broken.
Is he happy about this?
No, he's not happy. He's just like, well, this is what my life is like. This is what I must
he's just
suffer.
filled with
to be
pity.
human.
I'm used to like getting punched by big strong dudes. I can handle this.
Okay.
This is fine.
So the Undertaker licks you too. What do you do?
Well, in the
Then
case
it's
of The
gonna
Undertaker,
get weird, but
like, the thing that can beat professional wrestling is boxing, and Superman went in the ring with Muhammad Ali.
And lost.
So I think he has this one kind of locked down.
Okay. So how
I mean,
do you ultimately seal them away?
I think the best way for Superman to deal with most things, he's going to say, oh my gosh, Miley, I have a surprise for you, and you're going to love it. I arranged this party with all of your famous friends, blah, blah, blah. And be like, okay, put on this blindfold. And he's going to say, oh, you have to blindfold your bodyguard too. And obviously Undertaker's taking a lot of hits in the ring. So he's probably going to go, all right, sure, okay. And so blindfold
What
him,
is he,
and
Buffalo Bill?
yeah, he is. Look, I can't do voices, okay? Okay, sorry, I know
No,
I'm
it's
really
great.
bad.
Would
Poor
you
Tommy's
tombstone
ears.
pile driver me? I'd
tombstone
tombstone pile driver me.
My hips are so sad. And then he's gonna levitate them slowly, so that way they don't feel all the wind rushing past them, and then toss them out into the vastness of space. And because space goes on forever, like, the only thing that's gonna stop them is if they hit something. But ultimately, it's a vacuum. So once you have inertia, it just goes on. So they'll just be out at the outer reaches of space eventually.
Ooh, okay. Done.
How you feeling, Liz?
Okay. I did not help this situation, so I'm going to remove myself. I'll be back.
All right, great.
Bye.
I want to take a second to mention to any like DBZ super fans, we're not including the Dragon Ball Super or, of course, not Dragon Ball GT. So please don't send me any hate mail.
Yeah. And in my defense, I hate both of these characters.
We decided very specifically what to include or not to include, because otherwise it was going to turn into, can Superman sneeze galaxies, and how godlike is an extra super god?
Yeah, I had a contingency for all of that. I mean, if we're using the entire canon of Superman, then I would assume we'd be using the entire canon of Dragon Ball. So Dragon Ball GT, he fuses with the magic Dragon Balls, so he would essentially be magical. That was my backup plan.
How does he fuse with a Dragon Ball?
I don't.
What are
how does? Oh, right. That's the part you don't believe. No, not
I
not
still
buying
think
it.
it's a valid question.
You know what?
No, my concerns are purely what
Like
the hell is this thing made of?
It's just made out of I don't
Dragon
know.
testicles,
Yeah, dragon's
obviously.
balls.
I know,
There's
but I'm
7
like,
of them.
is it where dragons come from? Is it made of? Did the dragons give it to them?
When a
Does
mommy
it have
dragon-
dragons inside of it?
When
Do
a mommy
dragons
dragon,
just happen to like them?
I don't ask a dragon, on its sexual preferences or ball preferences,
I mean,
as it were.
It's a bold man that does that, but
Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like that.
that's that old saying, right? Do not ask dragons about their sexual preferences, for you are crunchy and taste good with ketchup.
Yeah, that's basically what the Journey to the West was about. Was just don't ask dragons what the nuts is. I think is the
What they nuts is.
They don't like it. You know what? I found out that Neil actually grew up watching a show that was based on that was not Dragon Ball Z, but was made in like the 80s.
What, that was based on Journey to the West?
Yeah.
What anime
Oh,
wasn't
man.
based on Journey to the West?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say,
no,
like,
it's not
half
an
of all anime
it's
are
live
based in
action.
some way on Journey to the West.
It's a live action called Monkey.
Oh, yeah, that explains
Well-
it. The Monkey King is certainly a well-used character across many different media.
I just didn't realize how crazy popular it was, but also the thing that I was like, oh my, that's really horrible, is that it was dubbed. Obviously it would be dubbed, but then that they had them dub it with like notably extreme pan-Asian accents.
Oh goodness.
Good. I'm glad they did that thing.
I know, I was like, well, it certainly was the 80s, wasn't it?
While doing my research, I found out that Superman is based off of a Japanese myth. The idea,
really? What's
well,
that?
the idea of the boy from afar or something. I forget what it's called. Something with an M. I cannot remember. But yeah, they find a boy in a peach, and he's superpowered and shit.
Is it James and the Giant?
James and the Giant
Boy.
Peach. That's what it was. The old Japanese myth. James and the Giant Peach.
Glad I can help.
It's called Momotato!
Yeah, yeah.
It has
No!
Hello. I'm back.
I'm calling
Hello,
him.
Liz.
I'm calling him soft, gentle peach boy.
You can call me that anytime.
Aw, thanks, Spike. I mean, soft, gentle peach
Okay.
boy.
Soft, gentle peach boy.
This sounds very strange.
Sorry.
I think I may have come at the wrong time.
No, I think you got all the context you needed for that
I
conversation.
feel good about it.
Okay, so I went to another room and did the same thing. And, you guys both came up with very good arguments on why your person is the best assist. And it was very difficult to differentiate them. So
That is accurate, yes.
how I based my crowning of the victor in the alien battle, I may have heard the single best rebuttal argument ever out of the ones I've judged, and that was saying, after Goku said how great Lex Luthor's plans were, and how Lex Luthor is a professional not able to kill Supermaner, so Superman has to win. Good job,
Yes.
Team Superman.
Yeah, obvious.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
obvious conclusion
didn't
of
know-
this fight ever.
Oh, man. I mean, not with the way you guys were
No,
backing
I
him.
was like, I don't
real
even
nervous.
know. I'm just saying words. Nothing means anything.
This one really pushed us to the limits of our willingness to put up with some excruciating bullshit. So.
Do you think you have to start watching Dragon Ball when you're really little to love it? Because I just
No,
do not
it's-
think I can
Hey,
do it.
no,
It's the
have,
stupidest thing ever.
no. Have you ever watched Dragon Ball? It's actually pretty good.
Is that the one when he's little?
Yeah, when he's a little kid, because it's this journey to the West. So it's a lot less yelling and charging up, and a lot more antics.
That's fun. I do like
Oh my god, thank god that's over. Holy shit.
I mean, I know, Liz, you really thought you were getting away with, well, maybe not getting away with anything, but going like, okay, it's not going to be as bad because I'm judging. It's not going to be as bad because I'm judging.
nope, it was
Was it
just
worse?
as bad. It was
I mean,
did
yeah,
good,
but you
Liz.
weren't in it for a week, Liz.
my
You
God.
weren't
Why don't you treat
swimming
yourself
in
and
it.
look up some sexy Goku pictures?
Oh, I was
Oh,
looking up
no.
sexy Superman pictures earlier, actually.
I'm sure you can find some interesting slash fic between the two
I
of
feel
them.
like sexy Goku pictures would kind of scare me, actually, but
He's very muscly.
let's just jump into it.
Just dive right in.
Oh, good.
Surprisingly not. Okay, what is that?
And on that note, I think we should probably move on.
Anyways, thank you, Spike and Talby, for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes. Oh, you guys should plug your shows and stuff before you leave.
Yeah. We got two podcasts we do. We do Death Save. It's where we play Dungeons and Dragons, and Talby's GMing right now. He's doing a great job.
Thank you.
I get to play a little kid, and I'm an asshole, and I get to be a real dick of a player, and I never get to do that, so I love Josh for letting me do that. But
Nice.
it's tons of fun. We also do the Sup Nerds podcast, where we had an episode not long ago where we learned that Angela Lansbury could beat up Goku because she's real.
Yeah.
It's good. And yeah, the age-old fight of who would win.
Who would have known?
Yeah, because she's not made up and she's a person. So it's that kind of podcast where we just talk shit and nothing really matters. But yeah, you can check us out on the Twitters. I'm at Sup Nerd Spike. Josh is
Sup nerds.
Sup_nerds, right?
Sup_nerds.
Or subscribe to Death Save or Sup Nerds. And thanks for having us on, guys.
So I remember a time when I was a child surfing the fanfiction.net like you do.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Boy, oh
Yes,
boy.
tell me more.
There was so much Goku and Sailor Moon shit out there.
Oh, yeah. I can see
I
that.
do not know why that. Well, I guess the reason why that was the power couple was because they were the two big anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, one for boys and one for girls.
But which is which?
So,
Right?
and it's so 90s. And yeah, that's
Something only 90s kids will know, am I right?
Oh, I fell into a BuzzFeed article. I'm sorry.
Anyway, before we start, thanks. I just wanted to plug Colin's appearance on the Math of You podcast. Just aired. So by the time
Well, so yeah, his episode came out a few weeks ago, and
in your time,
yes,
in your listener time.
in the future times. The Math of You is a really good podcast where the host Lucas Brown takes someone and just sort of like examines all of the pieces of culture that shaped them into the person that they are. And I've listened to several episodes of it, and Collins is like one of the best, if not the best. And not just because like he's my brother and I know what he's talking about, but like Colin is just a super thoughtful person, and he's very self-aware, and he has these really interesting insights into stuff. And I don't know, it was a really good episode to listen to. So if you guys are interested at all in our erstwhile co-host, then that episode is particularly good.
Yes, please listen to it if you're a fan of Colin. And
I am.
why wouldn't you be?
I'm a fan of
Why
Colin.
wouldn't you be? Do you want to fucking go? Okay, that's my bit. I got you, Colin. Now, over to Twitter. Thank you to Grayson Leal, Rafael Medina, Mike Booch, Florian, Sunnyboy, and Cosplaying Fiend for retweeting episodes and just in general tweeting about us. Thank you. And thank you to Mr. Man 334 on Tumblr for reblogging League. It's kind of a short thanks this week.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, guys.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Smash Fiction. We also want to specially thank all of our fans that suggested this match. We finally did it. Hooray! Next week, we have our Battle of the Beautiful Sword Boys. Cloud Strife versus Himura Kenshin versus Siegfried from Soul Calibur.
Smash Fiction is produced by Miles Schneiderman and production assistant Sharon Holden, with logo design by Colin Mulcairn.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod at Incompetech.com for our theme song, Hitman.
You can find us on Twitter at SmashFic Podcast and search for the Smash Fiction Podcast on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube.
Subscribe on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Smash Fiction is made possible thanks to our supporters on Patreon at patreon.com/smashfictionpodcast. Please consider donating as little as $1 each month. It helps us keep the show going, and we have great rewards and extra content for those who help us out.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
Liz, just FYI, there are some parts of my argument that won't make as much sense as when I assumed you were going to be going with the scenario we had pitched to you.
Well, I mean, it's still the scenario.
Dan got some like insight knowledge on the scenario. What the fuck?
No, we
it's like the same thing. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
I didn't get shit. That's all right.
That's my fault then.
They hunt aliens.
I assumed that Superman's motivation was fighting Goku because he thought he was an alien threat, not because Goku knocked off his glasses.
Because he's a glitch.
like
I
this
made
one
it
better.
totally obvious.
Mine never made any sense at all.
Oh, good.
It's
All
gonna
right.
be fine. I don't know if it's too late to mention, but I also forgot, Goku, his sonic charging up screams would totally affect Superman's weakened hearing, but his sensitive hearing. Never mind, I don't know. It's from before, but
You're working together. You're not fighting against each other.
We just fused.